Ça qu'a fait? Do you remember that? That is asked with confidence. Répétez, ça qu'a fait. This is in your greetings. Répétez, ça qu'a fait. What's going on? How are you doing? The response is, ma femme. I bet you remember now. That was the tricky one. Répétez, ma femme. Ma femme. Répétez again. Ma femme. Répétez, ma femme. Very good. I want to throw those in there just so you don't forget them and you go to Haiti and someone says, "Ça passe, ça fait," and you go, Now, you just listened to Vocabulaire for Lesson 2 with Emily. I'm sure you listened and you répété after you wrote the translations down in your workbook. But what I want to go over with you now has to do with those vocabulary words in the Learn Haitian Creole workbook for lesson 2. But I want to go over it by going deeper. Deeper. Why? Because English and Creole are not compatible. You cannot look at the word baigner, the first word on that list, and say English and Creole are compatible, can you? Because in English, you could say, I'm going to bathe. But you can also say, I'm going to take a bath. Really? You're going to go to the bathroom, pick up the bathtub with the bath water, and take it? That's how literal it is to us. So English expressions do not carry over to Creole. We have our own expressions and our own way of saying things. So we do not say, take a bath. Okay? So I'm going to teach you things that require you having your handy dandy notebook and a pen. Remember, whenever you see going deeper, this is your notes. You're going crazy with notes. You don't necessarily want to put it in your Learn Haitian Creole with Gloria book, because that's where you're translating your words, you're adding few little notes, and you're doing your exercises and your homework. This goes in your Creole notebook of all time, okay? You need one of those. Going deeper. So the very first thing that I want to teach you about verbs, if some of you are like, grammar was just really hard for you in school. Verbs are action words. Sit, eat, run, play, look. Action words. Anytime I say verbs, think of an action, okay? In Creole, one of the reasons why Creole is one of the easiest languages to learn in the world is because you do not need a helping verb. You don't need a preposition. In English, you would say, I'm going to eat. To is a preposition. You don't need that in Creole because manger means to eat. Baigner means to bathe. Courir means to run. The preposition is already in it. What are prepositions? Down, up, around, to. You do not need to add a preposition. So if you want to say, I'm going to play, do not go to the back of the workbook and look up the word to from English to Creole, because that is literal. That means into. And you're not talking preposition, you're talking verb, just the action. And so you just use the action word. That's it. It's very simple. So that first example that I gave you is really, really important. But before I give it to you, I know that it's a difficult word for people. You see baigner and you go, what? What's going on? I want to teach you a trick. When you see a word in Creole, and even though you heard Emily say it, but you want it to make sense as you're reading it, spelling-wise, you have to limit the amount of information you're putting in your brain. What do I mean? You want your brain to see the whole word bien, that first word in vocabulaire, number 2, lesson 2. But you don't have to do that. You're overwhelming your brain. Your brain already knows that a B goes b, b, and that the Y in Creole is just like the Y in English. So what you do is ignore consonants. Ignore the letters in the word that your brain already knows. This is going to be the best trick for you. It works. Focus on the sounds that are tricky. So let's use bain as that example. If we're ignoring the B because we know it goes b, b, b. If we're ignoring the Y because we know it cojoins with the next sound or blends with the vowel before it, just like English, we're just focusing on eh. The brain can handle that easier. God has given us a fascinating brain, and it knows how to work if we don't put too much pressure on it. I am taking pressure off of your brain by teaching you this skill. You're going to do a drill 3 times whenever you see a word or someone tells you a word and you're having a difficult time articulating it. Ignore the consonants. Focus on the vowels and the nasal blends. A, E, I, O, U. Focus on those. How do I do that? If I'm ignoring the B and the Y, what do I do? You say the rest 3 times. Eh. Bien. You're going to get it every single time. You do have to do this alone. So I'm only going to do it with you one time. If I keep doing it with you, you will only be busy listening to me, and your brain is trying to listen to me, block out the consonants that it already knows, and let the mouth work for you to produce it. Too much work. Remember, we're trying not to overwhelm the brain and expect and have high expectations on it for jamming in a whole new language. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do the drill with you. I want you to répéter after me. Don't say it with me. Répéter after me. Okay? From now on, when you hear or see a word you don't know, and you want to articulate it, but it feels weird, you're not getting the sounds, you're not comprehending how to put them together, ignore everything that is not a vowel and a nasal blend. Not ignore consonants. Focus on the vowels and the nasal blends. Do a drill 3 times with them, then bring back the consonants so that your brain can lock in the whole word. So let's do bain. We're ignoring the B and the Y. Bain. I want you to répéter. Bain. I know you did it perfectly. Matter of fact, you can give this video a thumbs up right now because you got it. Because your brain does that. It needs to lock in 3 times. Boom. Whole word. Okay? So now let's go deeper with some of these vocabulary words like bain. We don't say I'm going to take a bath because Creole is literal. If you say you're going to take it, that means you're going to pick it up and take it. You do not take a bain. You just go bathe. So bain means to bathe. In English, you can say, I'm going to take a bath. In Creole, you immediately say, I'm going to bathe. Bain. Okay? You already articulated the words. I don't want you to repeat the words after me. You did that with Emily already. The other word is shita. This is a perfect example of how we don't use prepositions. In English, you would tell someone, sit down. Well, in Creole, we're literal. If you're sitting, you're down. Otherwise, it's pretty scary if you're sitting and floating around the room. So all you say for sit down is shita. Now, someone asked me a question once and said, what if you want to tell someone to sit up? We don't say sit up because that's up. That's another scary thing. They are floating up in midair, sitting down. We would say sit straight because literally that's what you're asking the person to do, is to straighten their back and to sit straight. How do we say that? Chita droite. I want you to repeat straight with me. Droite. 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 Sit up. Sit straight. Répétez, chita droite. Chita droite. D-W-A-T. Droite. If you ever have a hard time knowing how to spell a word, watch the alphabet sound videos again. Because as we progress, we don't keep spelling the word for you because you will know how. What if you're in Haiti and you need someone to spell something for you? I want to teach you the word to spell. E-play. E-P-L-E. E-play. Okay? All right. Now, when you're telling someone to turn around, it's kind of like to sit down, sit up. Around is a preposition. So that's like on the bottom of your list, but I want to hit on that because I'm still talking about the prepositions. We don't add those in our action words, our verbs. So if you want to tell someone to turn around, all you say is the word for to turn. Virer on your vocabulary list for leçon D. That's it. You don't tell someone virer, turn, and look up the word around because that means something completely different. It's like to surround. You don't want that. You just want to say virer because they're going to virer, which means they're going to turn around. It's kind of redundant to us, so we don't do that. There are two words that I want you to focus on, showing you how we have less vocabulary in Haitian Creole, which works great for you. You don't have a lot of vocabulary to memorize in Creole. Yay! Okay, the two words are descend and monter. Remember, I'm focusing on your vocabulary. Vocabulaire for lesson 2. Descend, to descend. Monter, to mount. Any kind of descending is descend. If you're on a vehicle, you're going to descend it. You're not going to get out of the vehicle because you're not getting anything. You're just descending. See what I mean? English expressions do not carry on to Creole. Old European way of speaking, you would have said dismount the carriage, the cowet. Dismount the carriage. That's why we say descend the car, descend the horse. I want to give you a bonus word. Bicycle. B-E-K, accented A-N. Accented A, what is that? The accented A is just letting you know that the N is a real N. There's no accented A in Haitian Creole because it makes the same sound. Ah, regular A, accented A, ah. The accent on an A is just letting you know that the N coming out of it after it is not a nasal blend. It's not just A-N, It's un. What? It's not an? No, it's the blend where you pronounce the N. So, there's something you need to know about that. You can spell it another way because this will help you. B-E-K-A-N. N. B-E-K-A-N is bacon, and the other N is bacon, okay? But I'm telling you about the accented A because you may see it, and you may go, accented A? What's that? Why aren't we saying an? Accented A, just let you know, it's a nasal blend where you pronounce the N. This is not an exception to a rule because you can spell it A-N, and then N, okay? Bacon is bicycle. If you want to tell a child, get off the bicycle, you would just say, descend, bacon. Descend, bicycle. Okay, you know the form of the. So, bacon. Descend, bacon. Répétez, descend, bacon. Descend, bacon. I know it sounds like bacon. What's that? We're eating bacon? Okay, very good. Now, monter is the same thing. Any kind of going up, climbing up, getting on a bicycle. Monter, bacon. Getting on the horse. Monter, the horse. Getting in the car. Because you're not going to get anything. So we don't say get in the car. You do not want to look at the back of the dictionary and look up every single word that you would say in English. You want to think, how do we express this in Creole? Descend the vehicle. Mount the vehicle. Put the picture up. Monter the picture. Mount the picture. Take the picture down. Descend the picture. It's so much more easier. There are less words to learn, you know, and I think that's helpful to you. So I also want to teach you something very important very quickly. We don't have a lot of adverbs. So gently, no. Sleepy, that's another one. You know, we really don't, sleepy is an adjective, a descriptor, but we don't say that. We have the word sleep, okay, which is dormi, okay? But if you want to say I'm sleepy, you would just say I want dormi. You're going to learn want in the next vocabulaire, okay, for lesson 3. So I just want you to know, be careful with the Y ending words. Sleepy, lively, you know what I mean? Hungry, we have that adjective. We have a lot of adjectives, but be careful with the adverbs as well, all right? So I want to go into your next vocabulary word in the list, and that is the word goûter. I want to teach you an expression. What if you want to say yummy? Well, we don't know what yummy is, but you can say this expression. Do not break down this. This is an expression that means yummy. Li goût. It's tasty. It's yummy. Li goût does not mean it's tasty, does not mean it's yummy. It's an expression that means it's tasty. It's an expression that means it's yummy. Répétez. Li goût. Li goût. Very good. Good 80%, because if something's yummy, we won't say li goût. No, we show an expression. All right, so the next word I have for you is quitter. I know you looked up the meanings of the word and you probably went, it means to leave, and it also means to allow. That's because we don't have a lot of words. Quitter means what it meant centuries ago with old European languages, okay? What does that mean? I'm going to give you an example. I am going to visit the Queen. I speak to the Queen. Now I'm ready to go, and I have to ask permission to leave. I say, by your leave, which in modern English means with your permission. So, leave didn't just mean to leave a room, but it meant to give leave, to give permission. That is why quitter also means to allow. I quitte her, go to the dance. And then it also means to leave the room. I quitte the room. Okay? So it means, that's how it's come to mean both things. Now, the other word is courir. Courir does mean to run, but in Creole, we don't really have a word for speed. If I'm driving my car and you're like, oh my gosh, she is speeding, zoom, okay? You don't have a word for speeding. You would have to say courir the car. Running the car means to speed. She courir the car. You can look up the English words if you want. I'm not focused on that whole phrase. I just want you to understand the breakdown. Li courir machine. She's speeding. She's running with the car, running the car. Notice how this doesn't translate to English. And that's why I go deeper with these. So you don't say she's speeding and we don't have a word. And you go, what do I say? How do I tell someone stop speeding if they're driving so fast? Rete, courir, machine. Stop running the car. Okay? There's another word. I'm going to keep going. Laver. Laver means to wash. You can say laver clothes if you're washing clothes. But we have our own expression for doing the laundry. You may say to me, what are you doing, Gloria, if you call me on the phone? And I might say, I am doing the laundry in English, instead of saying, I'm washing clothes in English. We have that also in Creole. To wash clothes, répétez, laver, rad. Laver, rad. To do the laundry, fait lessive. Répétez, fait lessive. Very good. Now, the word passer is just like English. To pass a test, to pass by someone. Very easy. But we have an expression, and this is very cultural. We look at life as a journey. We look at our day as a journey that we are passing through. We do not tell someone, have a nice day, because they can't take the day and have it. I had a nice day yesterday and I put it in my drawer. I had a nice day yesterday. I don't know where it went. We would say pass a nice day, a good day. Now, a day cannot be nice. It can't be kind. It can be a good, as in a lovely day. And so we say bon. So pass a lovely day would be passez un bon journée. I do want you to répéter because I want you to say this to people when you say goodbye, okay? Passez un bon journée. Répétez, passez un bon journée. Excellent. Okay, so the next one is a comparison. Parti versus quitter. As you know, quitter, as you know, means to leave. Parti means to depart. So if I am visiting someone and I am with them and we are having a great time and I'm going to leave, I would say I'm going to quitter. But if I am with a bunch of friends visiting someone and we're all going to leave together, because of the commotion of all of us leaving, we use the word parti because it's a bigger exit. Sort of like when you're flying out of a country, you're going to parti, you're going to depart, because you're not just leaving, you're like departing. It's a bigger exit. Okay, so I want you to know that. I have a joke. There was this lady who was learning Creole for me, and it was so hilarious when this happened. I couldn't believe it. I was in the video and I was watching the Haitian behind her taking a comb and combing things, like literally just combing through things. And I said to her, I said, you know, the Haitian lady behind you, she's like combing through things. What's going on there? And she said, oh no, I lost something. And I said, comb through that to find it. And I said, you said that in Creole? Because English expressions do not carry through Creole. We're not going to comb through things. So you don't want to bring that over. So the word peigner just means to comb. It doesn't mean to look through things with a fine tooth. Just want you to know that. All right. You have a word, rive, and you looked it up, and the meaning is to arrive, rive. Yes, that's true. But there's an old European counterpart to this that you need to learn for going deeper in the vocabulary. When we want to say to become, we use come, which is vin. You're going to learn vin more in vocabulaire lesson 3. Vin, V-I-N. Vin, rive. We put them together. Vin, rive. They're written as separate words, but they mean come, to arrive. Come to arrive is our way of saying to become. She became mad. She vin rive mad. He became hungry. He vin rive hungry. Why am I teaching you this? Well, in English, you would say, I got tired. Well, you didn't literally find tired, got it. Look, I got tired. I got him. Here he is. You would have to go old European and you're thinking a lot. Modern English has shifted the language greatly. Haitian Creole, we have not shifted our language. We have not. We have a lot of pride in our language because it was a language that was fought for. Remember when I taught you in the video, what is Haitian Creole? I taught you the importance of Creole to us, and we keep it very, very pure. We do introduce expressions, ça passe, ça cap fait, but the pure origin of our words, the semantics, the word meanings, remain the same. To become, vin rive. Very important. Répétez, vin rive. Vin rive. The last word I have for you, I don't mean to smile, but I have heard some crazy things with this word. You know, it's senti. I have had people tell me I smell tired without realizing that they're saying I smell tired. And that is the example in the workbook. Basically, in Haitian Creole, we don't have the word to feel. If you want to tell someone, feel this, feel that, well, we don't need a synonym. We don't need another word that we already have. In your vocabulaire, you saw the word toucher. Toucher means to feel this, feel that, touch this, touch that. What if someone is manipulating something? What if they're not just touching, but they're manipulating it? Like a child goes into a store, they pick something, they're not just touché, but they're manipulating it. Manipulating as in they're playing around with it with their hands. That word is moyen. Un, un. Moyen. I'm going to spell that for you. M-A-N-Y-E-N. Remember that drill. Isolate the sounds that are not consonants and then say the whole word after doing that 3 times. Moyen means to touch in the sense of to hold and to manipulate and not just to toucher. So senti doesn't mean to feel. It means to feel like. Both words. It's a whole phrase, feel like. And in English, when you say feel like, you bring back the subject. I feel like I'm tired. He feels like he's sleepy. So you have to bring the subject back. If you say, I senti tired, it becomes I smell tired because senti by itself means to smell. But when senti is followed by the subject, him, her, them, you, it means to feel like. You feel like you're it. That doesn't translate over. That's an American expression. Doesn't translate over. But feel like, if you want to express feel like, you need to bring the subject afterwards, just like English. I feel like I. You feel like you. They feel like they. But if you just want to say feel this, say touché. I feel hungry. I feel like I'm hungry. It's very, very important. And that's it. You know, you're doing a great job. This is a lot to take in. Go ahead and give this a thumbs up if you got the concepts of going deeper with your vocabulaire for lesson 2. If not, definitely watch it again. Thumbs up, download, watch it over and over and over and over and over again. Or just watch it again right now before you download it. Your thumbs up is your way of remembering you have already downloaded a video and you pretty much understood the concept and just need to listen to it over and over again to get it down. Now, I'm very excited to tell you that your very next video is your first complete sentence drills. I'm geeking out because I'm excited about it. So you're going to do absolutely great with the sentence drills. I will tell you what the sentence means in English. So you're not focusing on reading and writing. And you will repeat it after me in Creole. You're going to do great.